So Annalisa is one of the most resourceful, one of the most fun people I have known in my days. There's 7 billion people on the planet, or a little more than 7 billion. There's only one Adelisa. I had the privilege of working with her for maybe close to 10 years.
Right.
So maybe make sure there's not an echo. I'll just say something, and then we'll ask Adelisa to talk about her neighborhood and the situation there. So let me just set this up. So Adelisa lived in Boston for a number of years. She was a very senior executive, went to BU, got an MBA, but decided the last 10 years to go back home. And I think there's one of the prominent families in Puerto Rico has a great collection of art. And she oversaw a community center to celebrate the art. Like 55,000 people came to her community center. And after the devastation on her island, and kids were not going to school, she and others said, we're going to do something about it. And she's been running a school the last few weeks, since I think October 9th. This is America, and this is the situation. And I think part of it, and we heard earlier today from Marcus about the storms and water. Part of it is that it was a terrible storm, but an island, and they don't have all the resources. So I wanted to hear firsthand, while we have all the power in the world, I don't even know what that is, but we have the power to make these, things go here, and they don't have power there, and they're being resourceful about it. So Adelisa, or I don't know, Miles, if you're going to ask this to her, but I'd love to hear from Adelisa, how's it going, what's going on, and what's she doing?
Well, yes, John, greetings from the enchanted island of the Caribbean, Puerto Rico. 46 days ago, September 20th, 2017, for 30 hours, Puerto Rico experienced the worst hurricane in our history. We had winds of over 155 miles per hour, even 250 at some points of the island, and even 2 tornadoes were formed in the midst of all that. We are currently at still 70% no electricity. There is still no drinkable water. There are over 100 deaths, and there are people missing. It's been terrible telecommunications, which is why you cannot see me right now. 80% of the agriculture was destroyed. We've had over 100,000 homes and buildings destroyed. So a lot of saving lives has been the focus for so many weeks here, where we are very desperate and yet hopeful to do the best we can using the talents and the resources that we have, so that we can just try to move on and just make a better Puerto Rico for all. I am in Old San Juan, where there is currently still no electricity. Currently, workers are on many streets trying to bring the light back up to the center that brings most of the tourism to Puerto Rico. There are more than 10,000 jobs that are at risk only in Old San Juan, with almost 800 different businesses and 1,500 governmental offices. So that is in a brief sort of what's happening, and I'm talking about what's happening in Old San Juan, which is in the capital. It's been just devastating all around the island. There are people who are still crossing rivers in order to get out of their community so that they can go out and go to their works or go find food for their families and medications for the ill.
So Adelisa, I've known you as such a champion for children and youth. What did you decide to do in the aftermath of this hurricane and the devastation to your homeland?
At Casa Cortés in Old San Juan, which is the cultural and gastronomic center of the Cortés family, a Puerto Rican family that has been in the chocolate making business from bean to bar for nearly 90 years. So in this 3-floor building, they share their 2 big passions, which are obviously chocolate, but also art. They have been always driven to promote art education and for education to be a priority. So Fundación Casa Cortés, which is the nonprofit organization that I run here with a mission of educating and inspiring with our passion for the arts of the Caribbean. We have a year-long educational program where we integrate art, which are artworks from the family's private art collection. It's one of their most recent corporate social responsibility projects. So we have served over 4,200 low-income participants, mainly from public schools all around the island, in the last 4.5 years that we have been running the Educa Cortés program. So provided that education is a constitutional right, and currently there are more than 350,000 students without access to their public schools. Not even 10% of the public schools have been able to open. They have no electricity, they have a lot of damage. The engineer's body has to go in and just certify that the schools can or not open. And if most of them have no water, no electricity, again, lots of damage. So we said we have to be part of the solution. Let's just open our exhibit halls as the classrooms, if you will, to run a Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 3 p.m. school, and also providing lunch and afternoon snack. To today, it's been already 4 weeks, so we have served 105 students that represent more than 20 public schools that are not operating right now in our neighborhood and in the San Juan metro area, and even as far as other towns an hour away from here. Families still show up and bring their kids. Some of them even cry because they're thankful that we are making sure that through the Educa Cortés school, we are providing all kinds of educational activities where we incorporate all school subjects to try to keep up with what they should be learning at school. I'm talking about children age and youth ages 3 to 17 years old, what we have had so far here. So we do art workshops. We go out on explorations around Old San Juan. We do reading time. We do open mics, so all the kids have the opportunity to express themselves via reading or writing or drama or in any way that they want to just present something to us. So basically, again, we're not going to stop, for which we need a lot of support from a lot of people until we make sure that all the schools open and these kids have a place to go and access, again, their constitutional right of a high-quality education.
So, Annalisa, a TED Talk, the formula is often around presenting an idea that's worth spreading. There's nothing couch potato about you. It totally fits your personality that you'd be proactive, and you're upset that kids who should be getting a public education aren't in this time, so you created a school. What's the idea that you want to leave this audience with and our community on Yogi Bows, where you think really well when you're in that position? You should buy one. That was a joke. But or our online community. What idea do you want to leave people with? Is it about what it's like to respond in this situation? Is it about universal education? What idea do you want to communicate?
I would say that we as American citizens, we hope and call and invite everyone to somehow, in the capacity they can, volunteering or sending some support or spreading the word and even learning and getting more educated about our history. We are a rich culture. We are proud Puerto Ricans who only wish to get what we deserve, and it's all connected to social justice. So I would say to people, Puerto Ricans are all around the world. We have so much talent under so many professions that I don't have enough time to share with you names and so many contributors to what has developed in this world, from being in NASA to being world musicians to be great scientists and engineers and so on, and educators. So I would say it is time that we first make sure that we are informed about all countries and issues happening, social justice issues happening around the world. I know the hurricane was natural disaster, but this brings to light a lot of other issues that need to be cared and taken care of, if you will, in terms of the status of Puerto Rico and who Puerto Ricans really are and all they have contributed for so many years to the well-being of the United States as much as the well-being of our own island. So I invite people, if they want to learn more about Fundación Casa Cortés, to visit our Facebook page, Fundación Casa Cortés. You can also send me an email to fundacioncasacortes@gmail.com, or you may call me. I apologize in advance should the call not go through, provided that we have a lot of issues here with telecommunications. My number is 787-525-7983, and that children and youth cannot be left behind. So every place and every institution should just use the talents and resources that they can have and move and access. And that way everyone feels that they are contributing to rebuilding Puerto Rico. In our case, in my personal case, I can add that I'm staying over with my family in one of our apartments in Old San Juan, and I share the apartment where I live during the year with a friend who is a beautician here in Old San Juan who lost her entire home in the town of Naranjito. So it's little things that everyone has to do, including getting educated about who you're talking about, what country you're talking about, learning the best possible ways to get involved. I know that many may want to just fly over and come and help. Perhaps there are other ways you can spread the word by educating others about what's happening. But I hope that everyone takes a second, at least, to recognize that this is a gigantic devastation that we just went through. And it is a very, very hard way of having to conduct your daily life and your daily work. But we're not going to give up. Puerto Ricans, we are so strong, and we are loved all around the world. And we love so many people around the world. So I would say keep up the amazing work everywhere you are, in any country you are, in any possible way.
Thank you, Adelisa. You know, we've done 500 talks from this stage, and this is the first one where we couldn't have the speaker here or video or slides of the speaker. And we wanted to make this personal. And if any of you want to go down there and work with Adelisa's school or want to get involved, we can definitely connect you. But I think this is, you know, you can hear in Adelisa's voice, you know, the pride and how, you know, how she's dealing with the situation. And it just, I think that's an idea worth spreading, understanding, you know, what someone would do in these circumstances and understanding that you too can help. So thank you very much. On with the show.